Okay.
So I've seen Central and I've seen West.
Yeah.
So when people say it's just like, nah, man, I know West, and I know it's just like, yeah, but I love it. Because obviously my dad was a courier as well, so he used to drive around the whole city.
Okay, so you
and
see the map.
Yeah, man, so I just loved it from early.
So for you,
Yeah.
as someone that's been in Central and West, what do you consider Pimlico to be?
To me, that's southwest. But
Really?
it's central.
Yeah.
Like, that's what, if people ask me, I went to school in South.
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think because I live around there and it's interesting. Most people I know from West will be like Pimlico.
That's Victoria. It's
To them, it's central
Yeah.
because it's zone 1. Half of it's congestion zone.
But where's central? What's the end of central? You're saying Edger Road, is that central or west?
Okay. All right, cool. For me, the border is Marble Arch. Yeah.
100. Yeah.
When you go on to Edger Road, you started west.
W2. Yeah. Easy.
But here's where it gets a bit more techie, in my opinion. Edger Road, you could say, is the start of west up until you get to the flyover. Yeah. And then once you go underneath that Marylebone flyover into like where Church Street is and that.
Yeah.
For me, geographically,
Northwest.
that should be northwest.
But because if you go further up, it is northwest though.
But even when you cross,
but you're thinking because listen, Green and that the Church Street and Kilburn.
That's all NWA anyway on the right hand side of Edger Road. So everything on the left where CWC is, and all the way going up Tyre Road and that, even Mozart, everything.
That's deep west.
Geographically, if Romeo wanted to back in the day, they could have made that northwest if they wanted to. Yeah,
swear
they could have, because of the way the flyover is. They could even they could have done that, but that one is easier to just be like, yeah, that's west, like it's calm. But certain other areas in London, you're like, does that postcode make sense though?
Yeah,
like,
but you see that's the thing, that west and northwest, we got that relationship anyway because we're so close and we're both small postcode areas, innit? So that if you're west, you're northwest, like, yeah, man knows, okay, well, it's different, but it's basically the same areas, like it's all intertwined.
The
and
roads
so,
go in.
Half the road is northwest, half the road is west. So
it's a common thing.
Man,
whereas on the east side of London, they don't have northeast postcode anymore.
Yeah,
so
that's what I've always, it's crazy.
So to a lot of them, they can't even understand the concept of a northwest because they don't see a northeast. So when you chat to people from like Hackney and that, they don't understand. They're like, what's northwest, bruv? You're from west, bruv, or you're from north. They don't understand the thing in the middle.
I've literally heard that before still.
Because they've been deprived from it. But then it's
even
also
the southeast and there's no south postcode.
And
so southwest and southeast.
So it's the same thing. South of the Thames, everyone's kind of like confused. It's like, oh, we don't have an S, but there's an N. So they don't understand the concept. Some people from South, I know, like from like Clapham, I've spoken to directly, like they consider northwest, like Cricklewood and that, just to be north.
That's mad to me.
Because they don't because to them, they're like, once we cross that bridge, the only distinction is southwest and southeast. But obviously we know the S is meant to be there, innit?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, but then that.
But where would you say, if there was an S postcode, where would it be?
The
like
S postcode.
From what part of south to what part of southwest to southeast?
All right. So S would take everything in Lambeth, everything in Southwark, tiny parts of Croydon, like the northern part of Croydon, that has south and west and southeast postcodes. So Norbury and South Norwood. So SW16 and SC25 would have had S. And then outside of Lambeth, Southwark, and the northern bit of Croydon, you get tiny parts of Wandsworth, like SW11, SW8 would have been S. And in Lewisham, you would have got
all the way to Lewisham, that would still be S.
But only like two postcodes in Lewisham, like Forest Hill SC23 and Sydenham SC26 would have just made S. And then Bromley, again, only a small part. It would have been like that Penge, Annerley part where it's SE20, SE19ish. And that's what S would have been. And then everything else would have actually been southwest and southeast. So most of Lewisham, everything in Greenwich Borough,
all southeast, innit?
All southeast. And then southwest.
That can go all the way to that Kingston side, isn't it?
Yeah.
But even though that's outskirts, that's TW and K and all that.
And KT and them things. But if we were like saying just inner London, it would be most of Wandsworth. It would be Merton. But if we wanted to include outer southwest, then we could include Sutton, Kingston. But Richmond is a next thing. Half of Richmond is south of the Thames, so half of it is southwest London.
But this is the thing I have, because you see the people that, I told you, must like Acton, that Harrow Road, that's my side of West, like I know West. So when people from like Quay, like when I'm saying like Hounslow and Twickenham and that even Kingston, they're saying, I'm from West London. that's used to spin my. Now I understand a bit more in it, but I used to spin my head
because it's so far away.
Quay, that's a whole nother place. It's like, yeah, man.
Yeah, and the Twickenham lot, I feel it for them because they're north of the Thames, which is why people just say it's west.
Yeah.
But when you're that far out, it gets so blurred.
Yeah, man.
But I feel it for people in Richmond because Richmond's a posh, affluent area, so nobody considers it to be a South London area.
Yeah, for real.
But they don't. But if people look to the map, they'll be like, "Raw, it's actually south of the Thames." So it's like, and I noticed that there's this like mentality where like people just think everything in South is like ghetto and mad but I'm like, bro, there's actually affluent parts of South,
really
like
nice parts of South,
like
really
Dulwich.
Nice. Yeah,
Dulwich is nice, bruv. Like main Dulwich. Like, I don't know about East Dulwich, but main Dulwich, like they've got some affluent schools down there, nice little neighborhoods and that. You know, like I don't know if you've been into Muswell Hill in North or like Crouch End in North.
Time ago, but yeah, man knows the areas. Yeah.
So it's interesting when you look at London. Like I find that there's some areas that are known for being quite like bad and run down but even within those areas, there's affluence in certain like streets but then on the flip side, you got the affluent areas, but then there's parts of the affluent areas where things are run down and broke, and it's the contrast is mad in London.
Sometimes it's the other side of the road. Like literally, man, there's one place I used to live, and the whole side of the road is the blocks. Yeah, and then across the road it's all mansions.
You see,
it's just like, bro, it's the crazy divide. And I know people living there, they're seeing two completely sides of London, but you're living in the same street. Yeah. It's a mad.
Crazy.
Yeah, man, the divide. But let's get into music, man. I'm telling you, bro, throw it all the way back. I even say, I'm here with DeeRiginal today. Just an amazing creative, someone I've grown up knowing, met him in school. And he's just done his music thing, just creating for years. So I wanted to sit down with him today and just say, let's learn about the journey, man, and straight from the beginning.
Boy, when we say the beginning, we could be talking like 2010.
From early, bro.
That was probably the first time in school in WCS.
That's what I'm saying. So like, when did you first create a track or start writing?
14 years old, secondary school, Westminster City.
Saying music room.
Music room,
practice rooms.
Do you remember Mr. Wellington?
Yeah. With the dreads.
My
guy. Yeah.
It was him. Bro, it was him. He was the one that said to everyone, he's like, yo, everyone write. He didn't say rap or sing or he just said write what you want. Just write a song. Or write a verse or something like that.
He was proper, man.
And I remember at the time, Sneakball was popping on YouTube. That 2010 period, Sneakball was just popping on YouTube, the whole Gas Gang thing and Brixton and that was just before like gigs was popular, like maybe a year or two before, like 2007, 8.
Yeah, that's when I first at WCS. I started WCS in 2008.
Yeah,
I remember gigs just getting played. I was walking down to lessons or whatever. I was hearing it on the phone. It's crazy
them sort of times.
Yeah, man.
For me, back in them times, it was like I was listening to a lot of gigs, but also a lot of Chipmunk.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of different, because that's the radio play, innit? Chipmunk was getting played on the radio.
Yeah, he was big that time. Yeah. And it was like, for me, back then, when we were in school, gigs and Chipmunk represented like opposites. Like, cool, two black Londoners, but like, one is like a gangster, and then one is like a good youth, but he's somewhat street smart. Yeah. And it was like, for me as a person growing up, I felt like I saw like two paths in those two, like in terms of like listening to them and what I felt they represented at the time, and you know, us being young kids at school and what we could have become. But I never knew I was gonna make music. I just liked them, man. I was like, I wanted to hear gigs, I wanted to hear Chipmunk, and then yeah, like 2010, that's when like I decided like I wanted to just try it, and that was at the start when we was in school. Yeah, man.
That's Mr. Wellington. I remember they had the practice rooms. Some of the guys used to be there in their break times and that. Crazy. That's the first time I ever used the studio as well. Remember they had the little. Yeah, man, that's crazy. So then what? Your first release, when does that go back to?
Hey, it depends what we define as first release, because there's layers.
That's the same platforms, SoundCloud, YouTube. What was it around them times?
All right. My first release, if we want to break it down to even the most basic of demos, it was a track, it was a Sneakball cover, yeah?
Yeah.
And he put out this track called Up in the Rave.
Yeah.
So I remixed it, yeah.
Serious one.
And these times I wasn't even called DeeRiginal. I was called Angel Records. Yeah, I don't know where I got Angel Records from, by the way. Like, I don't know what I was thinking, but it was something.
Bro, names, innit? Whatever comes to mind in the moment.
And these times there, I remember, bro, we were 14.
Yeah.
And like, it was there used to be this event, this yearly event. I think they still do it. This yearly event in Pimlico in the summer called Southwest Fest.
Okay, yeah.
And basically, that was the first event where I ever got like my first wine with a gal. I was like 14. And I was gassed. I was gassed. I remember RDX, what's that? Bend over. I started special moments, bro. But anyway, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because my first track, I'm talking about daggering gal, because like it's just happened, so I'm excited. I'm 14, and I'm
to tell them about.
You know what I was there? Yeah. I'm gassed. I'm trying to copy Sneak Ball, but I know I'm not on the roads at 14. I know I'm not like that. Yeah. But I'm like, alright, cool. I can chat about a gal, and I can chat about having sick bars, and I can chat about all of those stuff. So like, that's what I was on, and that was Up in the Rave, and that went on YouTube, and I think that went on like Facebook, because back in 2010 it was a Facebook thing first. Like I think back then Facebook was what Insta and TikTok is now. I think
100%. Some people are still active on there that using it for them things.
But that was the first, like, that was me recording in my bedroom with like unofficial equipment and not understanding mixing and recording environments and blah 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 blah. And then I hit my first ever like good quality studio the following year in 2011. Okay. And that was actually based in a youth club that I used to go to in Battersea. Big up the Vass Club. And I recorded a track called Bars of Steel. I don't know if you ever heard that one back in the day.
Yeah, I'd have to hear it to remember, but
it was like DWE, RIG, I to the N, A to the L, coming at you with Bars of Steel, like coming at you with Bars of Steel. Jeez. And that was 2011, and that was like my first ever studio recorded song that I'd put out. And again, that was like a Facebook and a YouTube thing. And then there was more tracks that came out over time. I think my first ever project was a mixtape. It was called Home, and like one of the lead songs was a song called Right in My Zone. I don't know if you remember that one. I be right in my zone, like when I write, I'm right at home, and again, and again.
That's even still on the YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was listening to that yesterday. Man's gone and just refreshed myself and that, so yeah, man.
And that was like the first times, and around that time. I see
some of the guys in the video. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Man, looking young.
Yeah, babies.
Bro. It's crazy.
And bro, this was so 2013. This was, I started college end of 2012. So September 2013, I was just starting second year of college, and yeah, we was around here. We was in West. We was in St. Charles.
Literally St. Charles, yeah.
And yeah, that would, so those are like the origins, like that 2010 to all the way to that 2013, 14 period where I went from recording in my bedroom to recording in like good studio environments. Started performing live as well. Those are like my origin demo days, I would say. Yeah, definitely.
So from early, you've always wanted to understand the recording process yourself and make it happen yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that was always in me to try. It was always like the concept of waiting to have something polished, like a polished professional studio environment. From the get go, I knew that was I couldn't wait on that.
Them times it's money as well, innit? It's
money,
like, spending a lot of money to trying to do that.
You know, so you're always thinking, well, right, like if I want to do this, I'm gonna try anything I can to just execute this idea that I've got. And to be honest, that still lives with me today.
That's the way, don't it?
You know, it's like you can wait on something.
We can make it happen.
Just make it happen. Like, you know, you can talk and talk. Oh yeah, I want to do this. I want to try that. But I just need this and I just need that.
Excuses.
You know what I mean? Procrastination. You know, and it gets to a point where it's like, if I wait for the perfect moment, it's never gonna come. So I may as well execute. And to be honest, I feel like people appreciate execution even if it's not that polished, rather than no execution.
Well, it is.
You know. So I'm happy. Back in 2010, I was happy to put out things where I'd make mistakes or things weren't that great. Today, I'm happy to put things out knowing that it's not as polished and perfected as it can be, and that's something that's just stuck with me all this time.
But it's all progress, isn't it? Because when you started from literally learning from square one.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that we're releasing now or dropping now, it's still progress and it's still part of the journey. So definitely,
it's just like, I think as time goes on, you learn techniques that help you just enhance what you're trying to execute. You get better at it. So even today, if I drop something that I don't believe is polished, it's still gonna sound and probably look a lot better than back in the day, because naturally there's a progression that just comes with being artistic and trying out ideas over such a big period of time. That like when I think about like in more recent times, like there's tracks I put out that I would not consider to be the best of mixes, or videos I put out on social media that I haven't even thought much about. I've just had fun with, and people have
done the most.
Like people have engaged and interacted with a lot of my work that some people might consider to be not good enough, or but you know, if I allowed the thought of not good enough to paralyze me, I never would have put out some of the stuff I've put out over the years, which has been received so well by so many people.
So true.
So I think there's a fine line between wanting to be ambitious and having great ideas, but not like procrastinating and never executing, and just accepting that sometimes you might put things out that are not the best of the best, but they're good enough as well.
That's what it is, just making it happen, because you've got the idea, and if you don't, like the amount of people, like I'm an engineer myself, so I've recorded so many people, and okay, you come record the song, mix the song, it's sounding good, but as an artist, there's always this like internal doubt sometimes that people have, and they don't release their music. Always constantly saying, bro, drop this, because even though I was listening to some interview of big artists and they're saying it's the songs that you probably doubt the most, and this not even like the most, that go on to do the craziest, biggest things.
Yep.
Because obviously to you got the idea of what sounds good because you're the artist, but if you're creating, just give your art to the world, because that's when it can touch people in its own ways and do different things.
Spot
so,
on,
man,
it's true.
That's, literally.
When you say it, and it makes me think of a few tracks in my catalogue that literally happened with. Like, probably the first ever track that happened with for me when I think back to my journey. Wow, it's been so many years. It's been 14 years.
I was going to ask you about Black Shades and White Tees.
Hey.
Yeah. Because that's the first like, anthem I kind of remember.
Black Shades and White Tees.
That's a throwback.
Yeah. I love these days.
Man. What was that? 014, 015?
Yeah, 014. 18th summer mixtape days.
Yeah, bro. Even that 18th summer, that's the Westie beat, innit? Can't go back. Squeaks and DV.
You know.
Bro.
You know.
I'm telling you. I was like, that's legendary, bro.
These ain't the things that I want to say.
Serious.
Yeah, that's our 014 time. This was those times where producers would just drop beat packs.
Beat packs, the legendary days, man.
And everyone's just going on YouTube and SoundCloud to listen and download. And yeah, like this is the days before streaming and people, this is days before people clear certain licenses or try to. And this is just drag old mixtape upload gold days.
The rhythm era.
Yeah.
Like 5 different men jump on the same beat at different times.
Bro.
Legendary, man.
Bro, it's mad. It's mad. And when we talk about 18th summer, that was my second mixtape, because we dropped Home in 2013, the year before.
Yeah.
And 18th summer, it's mad that I had ideas of what the best track would be. And I never thought it would have been Oh Mary in terms of numbers and how much people just wanted to replay the song.
Yeah.
But I remember dropping the project thinking that, oh, this track will have the most, like people will listen to this the most or whatever. And then like a couple months down the line, and I'm just looking at it and I'm like, rah, like everyone loves this Oh Mary track. And I didn't think much of it. I can tell you, bro, when we were recording it, I sat down with the engineer after I'd done my first take, and I was like, oh, that was dead.
He's gonna scrap the whole thing.
I need to do it again with more energy, because at them times there, I was so used to being an animated rapper that would always be like, yo, and and I look back, it's a bit
emphasize
cringy,
every syllable,
I was
around them times. That's what it was.
That's what it was.
Yeah, that's the sound. So
them times there, I was trying to emulate a lot of rappers that did it very well, but it got to a point where we were recording Oh Mary, and the engineer, was like, bro, that's the tape. And I was like, what? He's like, no, for this type of track, that's what you need, you know? And he challenged me, because I was gonna go and re-record the take. Like, so instead of oh Mary, 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 me. I might have gone in there and tried to do a oh Mary, Mary, and that would have just messed up what we had. At least I think it would now in hindsight. Who knows, maybe not. But all I know is he was right about, sometimes less is more.
100%.
And even when I left it and we had it like that, I still wasn't too sure about the track. I just put it on the tape. But once it became public, people decided what they liked the most. And that is the track to this day that is one of my most popular tracks.
Definitely, man. Even I remember, because that's even around the same time. I just want to marry Joanna. Remember,
please let me marry Joanna.
Around them same times.
Yeah, that means it is. Hey, so Naira Marley.
Yeah, hundreds, yeah.
Direct influence, looking back, because that tune came out end of 013 and was going off into 014. I made Oh Mary in like mid 014. So
but still completely, it's the same influence, but sound-wise, completely different lane.
Yeah.
And it still flew and people still love that one.
Yeah.
So, hey,
it's crazy. It's crazy. Like,
yeah, man.
It's crazy, man. There's so many artists from London in general that I look back at and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Influence.
I was gonna ask you this because I remember there was this time where you was talking about like ad-libs and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's someone that man rates because you know these things, like the ad-libs and the rappers that are called from early.
Yeah.
If you had to do a UK top 10, not in any order, of rappers that influence you and you rate highly, who would they be? Putting you on the spot right there, but that's a good question. I like that one.
Hey, that's tough. 10 in no order, but 10.
Yeah, because if you put it in orders, it gets long and it's all trying to.
I hear you. All right, okay. Just off the top of my head, if we're talking even before I started making music, okay, if we're gonna say UK rappers, even before I started making music as a consumer, I'm gonna set it from the point that I remember I started consciously going out of my way to listen to certain artists from the UK. So there was a time before I was like 11 years old where man just used to just watch anything that came on TV or listen to whatever came on radio. But around 11 years old, 07-ish,
start rocking with this sound.
Started looking for things on LimeWire, on the internet, YouTube, and I would say Chipmunk.
Yep.
In terms of his sound and in terms of what I thought he represented as a black Londoner, as a good youth who weren't really on road, might have been in proximity to it.
Straight bars.
And then in terms of his actual musical ability, he had tracks that I love. Like he had Who Are You? He had Beast with Loic Essien. I don't know if you remember that one.
They had a couple bangers.
He had the whole League of My Own mixtape. Like he was that guy, like 07, 08. Big, like I think Chip had a lasting inspirational effect on me.
100.
On the other side of that now, other side of the coin, it's definitely Gigs for me. I think I still listen to a lot of Gigs and stuff today, like from like that Walk in the Park era.
Early days, facts.
Like it's, even though he back then, like Gigs didn't represent a lifestyle that I lived, but he represented a lifestyle that I was in close proximity to because of the people around me.
Very close around them times, because even it was all
we had all Peckermutes at our school as well.
Literally all them times.
But the musically, it was just sick. Like it was just so definitely Chip, Gigs, Gets, Gets' catalog. There's so many moments in Gets' catalog that I look back and I'm like, nah, like whether I was making music or even not making music, Gets as a person, his presence, his sound, it done something to man, like mentally. I feel like if I think about certain moments over the years, I think I look back, I remember Get Sing For Me. He had two versions. He had the grand version, he had like the dance version. I made the girl to sing for me. And then the original version, I remember the harmonies on that track, the ooh, I make girl to sing for me. Nah. All that stuff was sick. It was sick.
He wasn't afraid to do them type of things. Like just
6 words I can do what he does, and after all, like big up Gets here. Chip, Gigs, Gets, group, N-Dubs.
Yes.
Looking back, Uncle B, that album, again, that 08 period, around them times, that Uncle B album, N-Dubs had catalogue, man. Like, they had
tracks on tracks.
They had it.
I even say till this day,
Wouldn't you?
Is one of the most talented artists out of the UK.
Yeah.
Singing, rapping. Because he's N-Dubs, sometimes people don't give him his flowers. But bro,
Yeah.
you know when he come back and he dropped that freestyle, Straight Facts, I think it was.
Yeah.
Just rapping. I'm like, this guy's cold. Man. People
Dappy is an iconic figure when we talk about UK rap orientated music, and N-Dubs or not N-Dubs, big up Dappy. And I feel
literally
looking at it, I would say N-Dubs as a whole, although see their group, and Tali's a singer and Fazer raps, but also a producer, but I still would put them in this rap orientated
100%. No, that's number 4. That's there, man.
I would definitely say
even they got Big Nasty. They had tunes with Skepta. Remember did you see the Big Nasty one when it was because it was Boy Better Know and their thing. I can't remember what.
N-Dubs versus NAA, that one.
Yeah, that's literally that's the one. Yeah.
South Finest, N-Dubs, Northwest Best, N-Dubs, Records.
Bro, they were legendary. Them man featured bare gram artists early doors, and because they were in a bigger stage, they were mainstream.
Yeah, they were.
So
they
shed light on
managed
a lot
to
of people.
mix like R&B, hip hop, grime, and pop in a way that it just worked. Like N-Dubs versus NAA, and then you had songs like I Swear, you with a time to a chair, and then you had Defeat You with Chipmunk.
I will defeat you.
Should have mentioned me.
Hey, bro.
Timeless.
Man.
So N-Dubs definitely in a fourth name I'd mention. 5, Retry 2, his album Black and White that came out in 2011, and his mixtape Retrosize that came out in 2012. Those two projects for me, like, cemented in history for me as a consumer as well as a now artist. Like, I've been fortunate enough to meet Retch a few different times over the years.
You have a session with him?
Had a session with him in like 2019. It was through like a workshop that Apple were facilitating in Central, and I was one of the winners of the workshop. Also I met another artist called Richard Carter. And yeah, like big up Retch. Like I've met him in person like maybe twice now, and solid guy. We've actually got a track called Don't Go, which is a direct flip of Don't Go from Retch and Josh Kruma in 2011. Like in terms of but sonically it sounds different, but lyrically we took some of the lyrics from the hook. I'm actually waiting and hoping that Retch will get back to us. I've messaged him about it because I just want on a respect one. I want him to just be like, it's okay to do that.
Just so you can
like, I DM'd him actually, so he's aware of it. He saw a little content piece I done for the track and he liked it. So I think it's like a semi-approval, but I just want him to say
need the actual spoken like
because we all like London's small, like we're all connected, and you know I could just do the Raggle thing and just upload it, but I'd like
it gets long like did you get clearance and bro, my team said take it down, and you don't want that, like you want the actual to go ahead,
the blessing. So but yeah, Retch definitely that's a fifth person I would say. But then it just gets deeper. So like, who else would I say? Like,
it can be modern day as well.
Okay, if we flip that, all right, 5 people from that
them
period.
Them lot are solidified. That's legends.
I hear it.
Them 5 are legends.
And there's more people I could have mentioned, but for whatever reason, those are the 5 in this moment I mentioned now from that 07, 08, 09 to 010 period.
Yep.
All right, if we talk about in more recent times, again, this is a group, but a rap orientated group. Western.
Strong 6.
Hey. Western.
Yeah, man.
Hey, Western.
Powers, bro. Powers.
Again, their catalogue is amazing. I feel like one of my favourite songs from them is Shana. You should have took it when you made that call. Kylie, hook legend he is. Vocals. And I love the way him and Louis, like, they contrast each other, like, very well, like, because he's got the husky voice, and then like Heidi's got the high pitched thing, and then the Kel's like somewhere in the middle, like it's
a bit of both of them, innit?
Yeah, it works. And they got this other song called So Blessed.
I am so blessed
for life,
bro.
Life. And it's just replay value central. Like, they just got this good thing going on, and again, I like how they mix like rap and hip hop with dancehall and R&B. And
influences.
I went to the headline show in 2020 in it was in Northwest. It was in Kentish Town, O2.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, solid. Highly enjoyed that show that day.
Them were even the first to break the international stage out of our scene. I think like
Really?
into like there's other artists that have done like obviously Chipmunk went to America, Chris Brown, and but Into itself was just a track that was made even for fun.
Yeah.
And then they released it and it went global, bro.
Global.
I heard it was charting in Australia and stuff like that.
Yeah, because the sound of it, you're right, it was
crazy.
Internationally undeniable.
Yeah,
Into was.
That summer what's that summer 15?
Yeah, I think that was 15. It was 15 or 16.
Just you walking there, people with the Bluetooth speakers. Remember the people that their little portable Bluetooth speakers? Bro,
yeah,
that's cold. But yeah, number 7. Let's go.
Oi. All right, who is number 7? Who's number 7? All right, my brain is flashing through all the different people I could mention right now.
Too many.
There's so many. I'm trying to think as a consumer, like really and truly, who have I been listening to more recently in more recent times? I think that J Hus is undeniable for me. Yes. And 100%. I think his second album, is my favorite out of all his albums. His first album is classic, and it's got a lot of replay value. But I think his second album for me done it. It came out at the end of, it came out start of 2020, end of 2019, and it had songs like Must Be on there. If you walk like a up, talk like a up, smell like a up, then it must be.
That's 2020.
That was like late 2019. That single came out. And then I think the project came out in 2020. Big Conspiracy. That's it.
Yeah, that's.
And then you had the song with Burna Boy. I know you're in love. Coming out of mat with an extension. And how do you sleep at night if you don't fight for your rights? And like that project for me, like I feel like is J Hus's best project. Yeah. I feel like there's a similarity between J Hus and Kendrick in the sense of if you compare what was Hus's first album called? Common Sense. Common Sense, and then the second album, Big Conspiracy, is a similarity between Kendrick Lamar's Good Mad City and his and To Pimp a Butterfly. And the reason I say this is because I feel like J Hus Common Sense and Kendrick Good Kid Mad City were the most digestible universally from them, in my opinion. But then the albums that followed that, Big Conspiracy and To Pimp a Butterfly, they sounded, from both of them, they sounded just a little bit more maybe conscious. Yeah. But still, it wasn't preachy conscious. It was for me as a consumer, it was still digestible, and there's still elements of waviness within that consciousness. A lot. And as a consumer, I've always appreciated that. So, but yeah, big up J Hus.
No, definitely. Just saying, that's your number 7.
I think that's number 7.
Yes, 3 more.
And
boy, I couldn't even do this if I asked that question. So big up you, man.
Yeah, I'm really trying to think about it. You know what? I feel like I gotta look at my phone real quick. That's I've been listening to music on YouTube Music lately. You know.
Oh, okay.
I got rid of my Spotify subscription. Yeah. As a consumer, I find that I'm listening to music on YouTube Music because YouTube Music, it's the loop. It has the loophole where you get all the official tracks for streaming, but it allows you to access all the unofficial things on YouTube as well. Oh, yeah. So like I can go and listen to old school, all the Drake, Marvin's and remixes if I want. Jeez. Like I'm streaming and then listen to the official whenever I want, and you know, okay, UK rappers. More recent times, let's have a look. I got this playlist called On Some Real Shit, and it's like bare real rap from the UK, and
that's my bag, man. Real rap.
I feel like looking at it. Oof. I would say. I'm not gonna say that this is 8, 9, and 10, but I'm just gonna mention these names that make the cut for me. Lil Kana, Avelino, Dave, Potter Paper, and I would say Scraps and Rimsey. Serious. And with all these people, I can name you specific things. So like, I wouldn't say like man's been really thoroughly invested in Rimsey's catalogue for this entire journey, but I have been aware of Rimsey since like 2010ish.
Yeah, early doors, innit?
But he dropped Cold Feet in 2022, I think it was.
Yes, I believe.
It was like 22 or 23. Might have been 23. And
some slappers on there.
Yeah, Cold Feet. There's these songs he's got in there called Morals and Principles, and For Richer, Poorer. And when I'm driving, they do it for me. Like I feel it. There's something gritty. There's that gritty street passion that shines through with someone like Rimsey. And it's quite similar with Potter as well. I put them in the same sort of place.
Potter, you can hear it. That just even his cadence, his delivery, it's the vim that he delivers. That's literally what you're saying.
Potter's song Purpose. I love Purpose. I also love the one where he's talking about he wanted to put his blade in someone's neck for beating on his mum or something like that. When I was little, I could really relate to that.
When I was little,
Strong song, man. I seen domestic violence, so it's like when you're a child and you see it and you can't do nothing, it's peak, innit? I would say with Lil Kana, he put out an album called Not Waving. Waving Not Drowning, Drowning Not Waving. I might be pronouncing it wrong, but anyway, he's got a few songs in there I really love. Like there's a song called Otterlay, and there's another one with Georgia Smith, called Loose Ends. Cold. It's perfect. Like for me as a consumer, I feel like Lil Kana's got this smooth, digestive sound to his thing where like he could rap about anything. He could sit here rapping about yellow carpet. I was down on the market. Like he could do anything, and he just has that nice smooth sound with his voice and the production around it. And we got Lil Kana. And these are little things. These just people. See, Dave put out this track a few years ago on an EP. It's called My 19th Birthday. Yeah. Cold. Like one of my favorite tracks from Dave. It's same with he's got another one called Survivor's Guilt, which was on his recent album. And I like when Dave kind of like at the end of the album kind of does the whole like just bars, real topics, a bit of vulnerability. There's a link between Dave when he does that and like Drake when Drake does like again at the end of his projects he'll do like
the outros are proper rappy.
Proper rappy.
Do Not Disturb is probably one of my favourite tracks by him still.
Do Not Disturb, timeless. 6 p.m. in New York, 5 a.m. in Toronto, 30 for 30 freestyle and the Project Future. So all of that sort of stuff. But I think where I've mentioned 7, it's like 8, 9, and 10.
Could be anyone.
It could be anyone.
Strong,
But I know that those 7 acts I mentioned, for me, when we talk about UK rap orientated music, solid. Don't get me started on ad-libs though, bro.
Ad-libs.
Ad-libs.
Hey.
There's like 10 people I can tell you right now.
Straight.
Off the top of my head.
Go on.
So when Gigs goes,
jeez.
Boom Productions. How did you know? Spare. Yes. All of that.
Straight up there.
Gigs number 1. Number 2, Clue. Ghost. Gone. Gone. Ghost.
Slap Young Reeks in there, man.
Young Reeks, see me.
Full timers.
It's
man.
over.
Yeah, man.
Hey, 30. And it's funny because all them men are from South. I don't know. South man got the hardest ad libs, bro. And then Swift from Section Boys. Sideman. Peng peng.
That's his ad libs, bro. Just the way he delivers them. It's funny and just precise.
30. Man. And then DWE. Oh, it's me, D double. Put it back.
Yeah, man.
Who else? Rendo, when he used to go boom bow. I think that's why I go boom. All these rappers, I swear, I think all these rappers I mentioned, I think the reason why I can go boom or boom, they're starting.
Influence,
Big up Rendo, from 410. Who else? I think
Squeaks is legendary ad-lib as well.
Squeaks.
Yeah, bro.
Bruv. All these man. And there's someone else. There's a few people. Bro, I made a video about this a few
I remember.
months ago, bro. There's too many man. Fecky, shut up. Bang. Bang. 1 strap, 2 strap, 3 strap. Bruv, all these man, they just got these iconic sound effects.
Yeah, man.
Even Cash-tastic back in the day. Cash. Just just that alone, like,
Yeah,
it's so
signature sounds, like, bro. As soon as you hear it, you know it's lit. Like, yeah,
lit. And the list just goes on and on and on. Like
Yeah,
I'm literally here trying to look for this because I know there's someone else that I didn't mention, yeah, that I
too
want to
many
mention,
still.
bro. Like the catalog is just so deep, bro. When you think about it, and I think that's one thing I'll give to a lot of rap orientated artists in the UK, mainly from London, that do represent the roadman, gangster, ghetto lifestyle. A lot of them got the best ad-libs. They know how to make a signature sound.
Yeah, for real.
Because all the names I've mentioned, all of them represent like the gangster life on the road. Maybe, yeah. I don't think any of them don't. Who have I mentioned that doesn't? No. I can't think of one. In fact, I'm literally, yeah, look. There's a video I made with the ad-libs and them things. That's it. Where are you? Gig, Fecky. M24 as well.
Serious.
You know, I wonder, like,
yeah, that's a lot of South, man. Squeak's the only North man there still.
And then Jamie as well.
Yeah, North.
Well.
Oh,
Serious.
double as well. Yeah. Okay.
You'll get a punch in the nose like blam. Yeah. Serious.
He's up there still.
You know. Novelist. Yeah. Like it's all a catchy thing, like, you know.
Proper. Alright, to go back to your catalogue, chat to me about Fantasy Sometimes and Love Life, that era.
Oof.
Because I believe that's, to me anyway, that's when your sound started to change a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I kind of went from wanting to just rap about rapping good. Yeah. You know, a lot of rappers, their thing is, I rap well.
Yeah.
When you listen to what they're saying lyrically, they're basically just telling you, I know how to rap. I rap well. I'm the hardest at rapping. I got the best flow. And I was doing that for a long time. Yeah. And then it got to a point where I just wanted to like actually have a story and tell people a bit more about who I am, as opposed to just telling them I can rap well. So what happened was 2015 now, I released a song called Upstart with C. Yeah. And that was about police brutality and being exposed to a lot of it in the media and seeing a lot of high profile cases in the States. Obviously, we got cases over here, but there was just a time period where I was seeing a lot.
Yeah, I remember that time as well.
And that was like one of the first tracks I ever released where it was specific, it was quite conscious, and there was political commentary, and, you know, I was showcasing another side to myself. And then we look at a song like Fantasy, and it's quite similar in the sense of I wanted to speak on my area because I come from a very affluent uptown area, central London, City of Westminster, Zone 1, Congestion Zone, Pimlico, Victoria, Westminster. And naturally, when I tell people where I come from, their perception is,
it's not all nice.
This guy is posh and rich. And I can't blame them because if you don't know anyone from here and you ain't been around where I come from, that's all you're ever going to believe. To the point that sometimes when I meet people and then I tell them where I'm from, they're like, oh, taken aback. And I'm like, I just go along with it. I'm just like, yeah, man. Listen, man. When you want, we can do a freestyle session at Buckingham Palace. Yeah, the Queen taught me how to rap.
Yeah, man. I got on speed dial.
Yeah, I got on speed dial. I just go with it. But back then, when I made Fantasy, I was a lot more sensitive to people misunderstanding me and mislabeling me. So Fantasy was my way of like publicly announcing that, yeah, I come from a good area, but within that good area, not everybody is rich and posh. There are council estates in this area. You know, there are people working class. You know, there are people at home, single parent families on council estates in this area. You know, there are people that need to make money and some do it illegally. People do have conflict. People have died here, unfortunately. You know, it's not a war zone like, you know, a lot of other areas are. It is a nice area overall, but somebody like me just didn't have the upbringing that you would assume I did in this area. And I think Fantasy was me just wanting to explain that for the first time. So that's what Fantasy was. It was like, yeah, man, you don't need to know who man really is. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it was like. And then I can't blame people though for misunderstanding. Like, to this day, naturally, that's
always gonna be a thing.
It's always gonna be a thing.
I feel like, especially as West youths, we get that a lot because people always think, oh yeah, we're from Central. It's like, bro, West isn't that nice place that you think it is.
Yeah, because they conflate Oxford Street, which is actually Central London,
to the
rest, to actual West, which is separate. It's near it, but it's separate regions.
Yeah.
And like you'll hear it when we talk about the world stage of London, the region that always gets clowned is West. And if it's not West, it's Central. Because most people, what they consider to be
Uptown.
West is the central part anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and so I hear you. There's
they don't have a clue.
West and Central in London are the areas that naturally are seen as the softest, or the areas that has no poverty, or the areas where there's nobody of working class lifestyles, or there's no conflict or issues or anything. But obviously, it's not black and white like that. And on the flip side, in the more notorious areas, there are people I know people that come from notorious areas like Brixton that come from two parent households. They may not be the richest of the richest, but they got a decent amount of bread coming in at their house. It's stable, it's well, it's a good home. They just live in a bad area, but they ain't living like what you would think they would live like in a bad area.
Definitely, yeah.
So it's like, you can be from a bad area. It doesn't mean that you had a bad upbringing. Yeah. You can be from a good area. It doesn't mean that you had some good uptown upbringing either. Definitely. But people have like sometimes like a black and white view of things. You know, like it's one of those ones, man. Yeah. But so
what, the next song, what was that? Love Life.
Yeah. It used to be called. It used to be called Just Live, and then people used to mispronounce it. So I was like, I'm changing it. So now it's Love Life and Live, and because that's like the last line of the track, I think. Yeah. And that one, this was when I started to do like non-music based work to make a bit of change outside of music. Yeah. And I was in delivery.
I said I'm driving.
Drop the pack, get the food. You know what I mean, drop the packs. And I was playing on the idea of being a trapper, but legal trapping. Yeah, legal trapping. You know, on my pushback, around the ends, dropping off food. Yeah, but it's not drugs, it's just food, isn't it?
Definitely.
And again, though, that was another moment in time where I realized like, it's good when rappers are able to just showcase parts of their personality in tracks that tell stories, and you know, play on themes that might make you think the track is about one thing, but it's actually about the other thing. Yeah. You know, and a song like Love, Life and Live is definitely that. Just like Oh Mary was that. You might think it's about a woman, but it's about weed. But it can be about a woman if you want it to be. You know, if you're a trapper, you might listen to Love, Life and Live and be like, this is me when I'm
relate it from a different angle. Yeah.
So it's whatever you want sort of thing. Because as a consumer, bro, I love when artists, whether they sing, whether they rap, I just love when artists like do that. I love when they make tracks that can be interpreted in different ways depending on like what the message is.
It's a beautiful thing for the consumer as well, because a lot of real rap that I used to listen to, and I'll be telling people about the artist, they're like, I can't relate to it. And then that's the thing I've had to understand is, people might not have seen different sides of life. So when you're hearing that real rap and even paying that man of rapping real street shit and just try to play it to someone, nah, man. And that's just being that relatable to the average consumer, as well as speaking your different ideas as well. So
that's balance.
Yeah, man. That's literally.
It's nice when people get it right. You know, when we talk about street rappers, like I think one time Nines got it really right was, I see you shining, you know, and if I'm correct, I seen an interview where people around him didn't want him to make that public.
They want him to drop it. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
But that song
was the biggest. That's an anthem, man.
It's an anthem, and
I say to people, I see you shining. That's normal.
Shining, And it's literally not, and to a consumer like me, I didn't for a second feel like Nines wasn't being himself on that record.
100%.
He was just delivering himself, but in a way that's palatable to more people. But it still got the street essence. Man said, I got my daughter a rollie when she was 3 or something like that.
Crazy, yeah, literally.
So he's still talking about his life, being on the roads, hustling street politics, but just in a way that's... So it's nice when people find that balance, you know?
It's the right... That's just hit the spot.
It's just like diss tracks. You know, I like when a diss track is hard, but then there's something catchy there that makes you want to sing it again. Like,
I'm trying to think of one that's like that.
You know, Kojo Funds' diss to J Hus back in the day.
Which one was that?
Remind me. I need to double check it, but there was a few disses that floated around at the time.
That's even like the Stormzy and Chip ones. Some of them are so catchy.
They're so catchy. Like I need to double check it. Kojo Funds. There was 2. There was one called Murder, and then there was another one. There was let me just quickly double check.
Kojo was another
He's
crazy
like, on the
talent.
other side, on the other side. If you wanna ride, you can ride. I make a chest decline. I make a chest decline. Yeah, yeah.
Serious.
And like, and it's so sick. But if you could be in an environment dancing to that, but man is slewing my man. And then on the flip side, Jay's done the same thing. I remember he put out De La Joie, De La Joie, De La Joie. I want a friend, I want a, but then he's still slewing Kojo. Like, Kojo what? Kojo who? Like them. It's great when it's done that way. Or like
even the Future and Kendrick one recently, it's literally that's catchy. I've been hearing it everywhere, bro.
You know what?
Everywhere.
I want to talk about that. You know, as someone who's been a big fan of Kendrick, like especially Good Kid, Mad City, and To Pimp a Butterfly. I feel like Kendrick's diss didn't move me. It definitely was just a little piece of bait.
Yeah, it was like small little shots, but it wasn't nothing.
Yeah. It was just, I was just like, okay, you said something to get attention. Yesterday, I heard what is allegedly a Drake response. I don't know if it's real or AI.
Yeah, but I seen it. Yeah,
it's good. He was saying some things. He was shooting.
I need to take it in still.
But you know what? After hearing Drake's alleged response, I then heard Rick Ross send for Drake, and I can't lie. Rick Ross done him, you know. Like Drake's got to respond to that. Like Rick Ross was saying some things, and I didn't expect it because
saying this was all last night, innit? I went to sleep early. I missed everything,
bro. On the way here, I was thinking to myself, Rick Ross, I didn't know it was like that, bro. like it's an exciting time.
Yeah, man.
And I was disappointed that J. Cole said what he said publicly.
Yeah, just
if he felt that way, he didn't need to publicly apologize. Like he could have just. I understand the whole thing of being wholesome and not really wanting conflict in your life and just trying to have a clear mind. But I feel like
that's the sport.
It's the sport.
It's hip hop, bro.
Also, it's the sport, like you say. But also, he was only responding. It weren't like he started it. So
and he didn't even say nothing crazy in there that was... Yeah, man.
So it's like, for him to kind of publicly apologise, I don't think it was necessary. Man. It definitely made him look less. And it's a shame because I as a consumer, I hold J. Cole to a high standard and a high regard. When people talk about the big three, the top three, does that remove J. Cole from our top three? No, it doesn't. To be honest, when we talk about Drake, Kendrick, and Cole as a top three, I've never been able to actually say who is number one out of the three. I've just known that in my mind, when we talk about popular rap-orientated music in the past 10 to 15 years, they have just been the three figures that I can say I've probably consumed the most from.
Definitely.
And when we talk about top three, I don't know if people are just talking about rapping ability, popularity, digestible, replayable music. Because if we talk about replay value, we have to get to Drake. Drake's the one that's
the most, isn't it?
I know that for me, I've definitely digested Drake's music the most out of the three in terms of just replay and listening. If you want to talk about battle rapping ability, historically people would have said Kendrick.
But Drake's got a few good clashes when he's gone up against people.
Yeah,
he's showed
in the past how many years he's gone against people. He's gone against Meek Mill. He's gone against Pusha. He's responded to Kendrick now, and like
he does this for fun. Still, he's up there.
And I feel like Drake doing the popular like replay valuable friendly songs doesn't take away from his hard hitting rap tunes. But people like to kind of ignore that because it fits their narrative of, oh, Drake's just a pop guy, he ain't really hip hop, or he ain't really a rapper. And
people struggle with that a lot.
But it's that's so one track minded and ignorant, because when he does it properly, it's amazing. And you know, look at his feature with what's my man's name, Jack Harlow. You know, he spun man out, or even like in his recent album, he put a deluxe version out, and like the last 6 records were just straight rap, just to remind people. And I thought to myself, really like, people discredit this guy, yeah, and I get it. Like I understand the whole ghostwriter thing when that came out. That definitely put a little stain,
tear him apart. It
was
credibility out the window, man.
But then it's like the real thing for me is like, okay, how many of those records that people know Drake for were written by somebody else? And also, how many of not just Drake's records, Kendrick's records, Cole's records
that's the deeper thing about the industry though. Like even in sessions, you might be writing a track and then your guy might help you with one line or, hey bro, what's the next line? What's the next bar to this?
Yeah. Or
so does that mean you got ghostwriters now?
Exactly. Or if you go deeper with that, the next line is people forget that beat making producers are songwriters.
Yeah,
so when you see a Drake release and him and 40 were in the studio, or maybe 40 actually made a beat as well as mixed and mastered the track with Drake's vocals, the reason why 40's put down as a songwriter might not be because he said, yo, Drake, say this, is because he literally composed a beat which is technically
he's had the
song
feeling.
composition.
That's why producers name their beats, even the YouTube producers nowadays, this artist type beat, because they can hear that artist on that beat. It's like art.
They can hear
so
it.
It's the same thing.
But a lot of people go to Spotify's credit section and see other writers and be like, oh, ghostwriters, he had these people write for him. And it's like, maybe like these people contributed to the beat composition. The beat composition is songwriting. And people have to remember that. That's why when we talk about publishing, beat producers are always entitled to publishing, even if, do you understand? Because they are, anytime I work with a producer, with a beat producer, like, they get half publishing. If it's just me and that producer, that's how, like, I've done it. Big on my boy Fraser the Third, plays keys, beat producer, overall artist. Do you understand? And many other.
That's the right way to do it though, because it's the two of you working together to make
a song,
a work of art, bro. A song,
a recorded song.
You got the vocal artist, but that's also the instrumentation, the whole sound of the track, the progression of the track. It's not just but that's a continued dilemma. So especially in drill, even nowadays, they've been having that whole, okay, I'll make a beat on YouTube. Is it a little lease that I sign, or am I getting shared the royalties? So yeah, man.
Yeah. That's a whole thing. Like, I actually steered away from YouTube beats because
it's just problematic.
It's problematic where even if you buy exclusive rights from a beat producer,
it's a certain amount of streams.
If that, and also if the beat's been on YouTube for however long, naturally other people have had access to it. Anyone could have ripped it, downloaded it. So even if you buy the exclusive rights, there's not a guarantee that someone else hasn't already got a copy. Even if it's a bad YouTube rip of it, they still have that, and they could illegally upload. Do you understand? So that's why, as a producer of music now, like, I try to just work with people offline if I can. But some of my most listened to tracks did come from YouTube beats. Oh, Mary is a YouTube beat. Just Wanna Say is a YouTube beat. Do you get it? But
that's a perfect segment though, because you and Slick J's partnership. Let's talk about that.
Oh, big up Slick, man.
Because that lane, I feel like that's the new sound era. That run you've been on from 2019 till now is a sensational run, and it started around that time.
Yep. 5 of the Day, Slick J Beats, Encore Freestyle, Slick J Beats. Just Wanna Say, Outside, Inside, Slick J Beats.
See, Outside is, that's when I fully started looking into your thing again, because obviously it was quiet. I was in Southampton.
Oh yeah.
Lockdown. Let's see what everyone's going on. Outside, Inside, bro. Man had a booth in my bedroom them times. Just loading up just a hot box with the guys. The amount of times that track got played, bro. That was a whole new sound. The cuts, the chops, the slides, everything about, bro. The melodies, bro. Everything about that track, bro.
The gibberish.
It makes sense. It's cold.
Yeah, big up Slick. Like, I found his beats on YouTube in around like 2018, and I started recording ideas to them like around 2018, and then eventually 2019 I made 5 of the Day public, and then 2020 Outside and Just Wanna Say. Big up Slick. Like, this was around that time where, like, publicly producers were starting to put out more experimental versions of drill beats that were hybrid sounds of maybe drill drum patterns, but others. We kind of got past the golden age, everyone putting out very dark and generic drill beats. You know, I think there was a time, like, in the early stages of UK drill, where we were just carbon copies of like Chicago drill, and then we started
its own genre.
I feel like a lot of producers started to add elements of grime into UK drill, which kind of took it away from Chicago. The beats got a bit faster, and
the Quiet Pack era,
yeah,
man.
Quiet Pack and Jamaica, them times,
man.
Times there, like 410.
Serious.
That there's the augmented piano keys, and then the drum patterns always used to go and then the kicks, the boom,
changed drill forever, bro.
Yeah. Big up Quiet Pack. He's pioneer.
Trust me.
And we went to the same college.
Swear down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
after St.
man.
Charles, my first college, the
Yeah.
second college I went to was it was called DV8 when I joined it in Walthamstow, and then it got changed to BCE, Big Creative Education.
Damn, that's completely on the other side, isn't it?
Yeah.
St. Charles.
Yeah, west to east. This is
literally.
why I say I'm Londonese, bro.
I hear it,
Central
bro.
to
I hear
west
it.
to
Yeah.
east, family in south. My dad lived in north for a
That's
bit.
what it is.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man.
But yeah, like, and then we with UK drill, like we had all of that, like Quiet Pack in Maker, 808 Mellow, them lot. And then when we got towards the end of the 10s into like the early 20s, there was that transition, and now we get a lot more of like R and drill, like
the M1 on the beat and MK the plug.
Oh yeah, M1.
That's when them man started loading up, and Ghosty, Hargo, their type of beats. Yeah, man.
Yeah, them sort of times there. So like, but yeah, big up Slick. Like, yeah, like I just think his sound definitely inspired me to evolve. I think, you know,
the melodies, and that was a bit earlier before that, but fresh. Like, where you yourself, where would you say Fresh Air music started?
The concept of it, like, I felt like people were describing my music as Fresh Air in the mid 10s, like 2016 ish, 2017. But then I would say I didn't really start championing myself with the term properly, like consistently, until like maybe late 10s, early 20s. And then it's only really been in like the past like 5 years, I would say, where I've really started to like own it. And like, you know, even down to, if you look at like my bio on the internet, it says the term Fresh Air music. And
for real.
yeah, I say probably in the last 5 years, I've really started to like embrace it and be consistent, like consistently describe myself as someone that makes refreshing music, a breath of fresh air music, and you know, yeah. And I think sounds that were produced by people like Slick J Beats definitely helped me really embrace the concept of fresh air, because his beats are fresh air, you know. I was hearing the combination, the hybrid of R&B but drill drum patterns. It excited me. Like 2018, it was like, oh my gosh, that
what's this new sound? Like,
this is sick. This is different. This is like, so people like Slick J, you know, and then there's been
what other producers have you locked in with that
and then
Fraser the Third?
Yeah, and then to contrast Slick J, producers that I've worked with in person, like Fraser the Third, who produced Forgiveness, which again, like that track is like, again, drill drum patterns, but it's got this alternative, almost churchy, I don't know, like vibe to it. Like it feels like different. Big up Fraser. Like we got a few tracks up publicly.
Yeah, definitely.
Is Okay, Forgiveness. We got an EP coming as well. A joint EP. Me, Fraser the Third, and an amazing artist, singer, songwriter, Leilu.
Yeah.
She produces too. We got a joint EP coming. I've got my first ever self-produced EP coming as well.
Hey,
it's coming May 5th.
Yes,
and
sir.
It's part 2 to an EP I dropped in 2021 called One Day at a Time.
Yeah. Hey, so, 9 a.m. Big boy tune.
9 a.m.
Baghdad.
Baghdad.
Bro.
Hey, literally 9 a.m. holiday Baghdad. And now part 2. Baghdad part 2 opens up part 2.
It's crazy. I even saw, before we was coming here today, I saw a memory from 3 years ago.
Yeah.
On my story, it said it was 9 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, bro, it's meant to be, man.
It's meant to be, bro.
Hey.
And the thing is, this EP that I've got coming, self-produced, my first ever self-produced project. You know, I'm really proud for this to be out publicly. Yeah. But this, depending on when this comes out, it might actually be public.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, One Day at a Time part 2. If it's not out, it'll be out. But it might be out whilst you lot are watching this, listening to it. But my production, what I will say, it's through all of the beat producers I worked with over the years, whether it's just YouTube beats I found from Slick J, whether it's working in person with Fraser the Third. Big up Analog. That's someone a bit from before as well. Analog produced a timeless classic called Beautiful Soldier. Yeah. It was like something I put on Mother's Day in commemoration in memory of my mum who passed around that time. But it's just a song for anyone that appreciates their mum and has a good relationship or had a good relationship with their mum.
Even with your mum's passing, you yourself, after going through the grieving stages, how would you say, going back to music, has it changed your way that you see the world and the content you release, the music you release now? with your writing stuff?
Yeah, changed me as a human being, and naturally, on a personal one, as D'Angelo, it changed D'Angelo. So it changed DeeRiginal.
100%, yeah.
The grief of it definitely made me view life differently. Like, it woke me up. You know, we hear about death all the time, but when you lose, for me, I lost the most central person in my support system for my entire life up until that point. So, yeah, it definitely, it was a wake-up call about, you know, life and death. Because we all know we're all going to pass, but sometimes it's like, oh, my mum's around. Like,
yeah, she's
at home.
Forever, yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a level of that. And naturally, it made me more independent. I had to be. I feel like the silver lining from my mum's passing was that it made me grow up. It made me become a man. It made me step up and mature and become more self-sufficient. You know, I moved into my own place after that. I've been living in my own place, handling my own maintenance, paying my own bills, everything else. So that's probably the silver lining. I definitely can say I'm the man that my mum wanted me to be now. Yeah. So that's the good thing that came from that situation. And musically, even, yeah, I think it prompted me to access deeper emotions about family, my mum, relationships in general. You know, speak on life and death, and find a better way to just illustrate like the realities of life and death. I think that it helped. You know, I don't think Just Wanna Say exists without the passing of my mum. Yeah, you know, because I've been through things and I've seen some things that just aren't right. Yeah, you know,
that's like, from a personal angle, because obviously I've known about the whole situation and I've been listening to your music through it, and the introspective angles of the music, the vulnerability in the music, it increased, and the messages just got more stronger messages about enjoying life and being grateful and blessings. And that's why man rocks with you so heavy, because bro, the message, like, I'm not listening to, I can listen to, we call it ignorant music or whatever, but to hear like fresh air, like just positive, I say I want to do this, I want to, what's the one song you're saying, I'm still working, I'm just trying to get better, struggles, just, it's all about the same, just leveling up. And then even the features recently as well. Yeah. With My Name Is Bliss. Yeah. Bro, the message is there. Bro, even the high school song that you dropped.
With Benga.
Bro, that's when I said, that's when I messaged you, bro, we need to sit down, bro. Because it's real stuff. Like, it's real conversation stuff that you can talk about, and life, where just trying to be a better person, trying to be a better human being, and continuously growing up and going through stages of life.
Yeah, that's the one thing that just stays in the center of my mind as I navigate on this earth. I'm like, okay, as time goes on, time is limited, life is limited, but whilst we're here, I wanna live in the most healthiest, uplifting way possible, despite the negative, harsh, real circumstances of the earth and the world that we have to deal with every day, sort of thing. So, yeah, but.
You saying what's next for the coming? You said there's an EP coming.
All right. So what I would say is, yeah, looking at like the whole journey so far, and in terms of what's next, cool. I worked with a lot of producers over the years, some through YouTube, like Slick J, some in person, Fraser the Third, Analog, Alfie Rudman, enough people, Vagrant Real Estate, and many others. And then now we're at this point where like I've put out, back in the day I put out demo mixtapes, singles. In more recent years I put out some official singles and EPs. And now we're at the stage where I'm putting out my first ever self-produced project, One Day at a Time Part 2. But then it don't stop there. This year we're just firing everybody. Like we got that EP, and then I got a joint EP coming with Fraser the Third and Leilu. Yep. And that's like a vibe switcher. So like One Day at a Time Part 2 is giving you one type of D. And then the EP I got with Leilu and Fraser the Third, we've called it Glad I Found You. It's good. It's amazing. It's all amazing. And I do think it all comes under the guise of fresh air music, refreshing music.
Definitely.
It feels well. It feels good.
Tell them about the documentary as well, man.
Yeah, we just dropped the London documentary. Like, you know, I'm such a map nerd. I love London, geography, politics, identity, postcode, boroughs, you know. this part of London being considered west or central, that part being northwest, why there's no northeast postcode, why there's no S postcode, why people who live in Camberwell are not really from southeast London and they're actually just from south, and why people from Brixton are not really from southwest London, they're just from south, and why all of it, and all of the, you know, the boroughs, you know, why Hackney is half north postcode, why the other half is east, when really the whole of the east part of Hackney is actually northeast, but there's no northeast.
Yeah, man.
And I'm just a map nerd, and but specifically rooted in my Londonness, but also the other layer, of course, like as a Londoner, like with, you know, foreign heritage, you know, I'm half Nigerian, half Kittian through my mum and my dad, but man spent most of my life here. So I just really appreciate London because of that. This is where I spent most of my life, most of my memories are.
100.
I feel like a lot of people who are the children or grandparents of immigrants, children or grandchildren of immigrants in this country, a lot of people kind of have this mentality of, oh, like, this ain't my home. My home is where my parents or grandparents are from. And I think that's okay if you are someone that's actively going back and forth to those places where your parents or grandparents come from.
But when you're here most of the time.
But if you spent, if you're here most of the time, you spent most of your life here, how can you deny that London or whatever city in Britain,
it's your hometown?
That is your home place, isn't it?
Literally.
But because of racism and the history of colonization and everything else, people don't want to say that, innit? Because there's bad blood, innit? But for me, I'm like, yo, despite the history, right now, and for how many decades I've been on this earth, I've been in London. I got the thing right here for that reason.
Tell them again, man.
You know what I'm saying? I'm fully London, bro. Like, I may not be white English or Welsh or Scottish or any type of white Britishness you consider, but I'm a Londoner, bro. Like, you know, them ones there. So that's why I made the documentary.
Serious, take that one in, man.
You know,
man.
That's there, and
it is, man.
And like, there's just more things coming. Left Field, I'm part of a collective called Left Field with Names Bliss, with Samson, TRTL, Dave Creates, Vagrant, Real Estate, you know, artists, producers, and we got music coming as a collective later in the year. We're looking at doing a collective EP. So it's like this whole year, bro, we are just firing, like,
serious.
And the big part of it, one half is the music, but the other half is content.
Yeah, man.
And this year, I've stepped into my content creation bag.
That's what it is, man.
Like, I can say, like, with Chess, like, I'm embracing the musical content creator thing now, because I think time has gone of just being an artist and, like, hoping that you're gonna reach people. Like, you know, for me, for a long time, I think I was against the whole content thing because it was like, oh, it's taken away from my art and
music.
But
it's a challenge, isn't it? Because it's finding the right lanes.
Times have moved on, and I'm not a major label artist with a mad machine behind me and mad budget, and, you know, so if I don't have that, then I had to be real with myself, and I was like, I haven't got that infrastructure. So as an independent artist, what I can do is be a consistent force on social media that stays in people's consciousness. And the center of my content is the music I put out. You know, see, show other parts of my personality, but we still involve the music, and that's what seems to be working with me. You know, I done the Red Bull job recently.
Seeing some clips from that still.
And Red Bull got in contact with me because of my consistency as a musical content creator on Insta and TikTok, innit? So
that's what it is, man.
You know, and like,
just the generation we're in right now.
That's
content and
like.
But it doesn't take away anything from the music, because the music is always going to speak for itself.
Yeah, saying they go
and that's
hand
one
in
thing
hand.
you can never let. Yeah, like, always remember that they're connected, but the music always speaks for itself.
Yes, word. Man. Like this is the thing, man. So it's like, I'm 14 years into my journey now. Yeah. So like, my outlook's changed. My personal life has impacted how I maneuver as an artist. You know, like, I got a day job as well. Like, I'm a driver in the day for a catering company. Yeah. And, you know, I do that in the day, in the week, and then, you know, in the evenings and in the weekends, like, I do music. And it's interesting. A lot of creatives I've come across complain and they are not happy about their day jobs. But I'm not one of those people. I actually appreciate my day job. My day job brings me balance, routine, community, and of course money, stable money.
100%. Yeah.
Music brings me money, but it's not as stable and consistent. And, you know, maybe one day that might change depending on the level of visibility I have and the more brand deals I do consistently and the more bookings I get. And, you know, I'm going to go into merch as well. Yeah, we got Boom coming.
Boom.
We got the Boom merch.
Yeah, man.
And a couple other things. But yeah, like music's there, but in this climate, I don't solely rely on music as my main source of income, you know. But when I was young and a child and still living at mum's, and I knew that my rent was getting paid, it was easy for me to be like, oh yeah, like, I'm just doing music, knowing that I could just make like, I don't know, £79 in 1 month and be happy with that. But
yeah, man.
But now it's like,
it's different, isn't it? Man, got bills to pay now.
Got bills to pay. You know, some of us are trying to get married or have kids or whatever, and it's like, well, if you want to like start a family or whatever you want to do, whatever ventures you want to do, you might want to travel.
That's a lot of money, man.
Yeah, need money, man,
bro.
So it's like,
that's true.
So it's like, I love music and I'll never stop doing music, but as a responsible adult in my personal life, I must balance that my output. So, but I've made it work. It's like we still got music coming out every few weeks on average. Bro, documentary coming, you know, like it's active. I'm posting music related things on social media every day. Like, so for me, I'm one of these creatives, these musical creatives that does not mind having a day job outside of the musical creative field. Because for me, it actually goes hand in hand and actually inspires me as a creative. Yeah, man. So that's where I'm at still.
Serious, proper. Alright, bro. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to come and sit with me today and have this conversation, bro.
Hey.
I've been wanting to speak to you for time about the journey, get insight on all these things. So big up yourself always, bro, man. Keep doing your thing, bro. I'm telling you, man. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me here today, bro. Like it's nice. It's nice to sit down and just talk.
That's what it is, man.